Hey guys, I'm Nate.
And I'm Victoria.
Hey. And today we're going to talk to you guys about stuff.
Things that you should know before you start your first bodybuilding prep. Or even if you've already done bodybuilding prep before.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Yes. 8 things that you really should know before jumping into a bodybuilding prep.
And the first thing is competitive bodybuilding is not healthy.
No, not at all. You can't stay lean that year round. That's one day, maybe 2 days out of the year that you're going to be that super lean. Putting your body through, 16 weeks, 20 weeks of prep just to be lean for 1 or 2 days.
That's not what you normally look like.
It's not attainable year round. It's not healthy for your hormones, not healthy for your organs. If you try to keep doing that year round, you're going to beat yourself down. And chances are you might end up injuring yourself long term.
Yeah.
So like during bodybuilding prep, you're restricting your different foods that you normally eat, right? You're taking out certain food groups. You're having to supplement with more and more vitamins. You're creating the potential for different deficiencies, right? So that is just like a storm waiting to happen for like gut issues, heart issues and stuff like that. And it's just not sustainable long-term, right? So bodybuilding isn't healthy. It may look cool to have abs and be shredded and stuff, but it's just not healthy. It's not.
When you get in really good condition, you're also going to be a lot drier. People get injuries from doing that. Like a lot of people get like a torn bicep and torn pec. I'm sure knees and legs too, but like that's stuff you have to worry about the closer you get to prep. Well, to contest day.
Yeah, and by the end of prep, you're most likely doing lots of cardio. You're training hard, for you, even though you're just feeling so tired and just don't want to get out of bed. So there's more, risk for injury, mental health issues too. People don't talk about that. So, and then just delving back the whole deficiency thing, which leads us into our second thing that you should know for bodybuilding prep.
Try to make sure to get blood work before you start prep.
Even in your off season, building season, you should be getting blood work done. So obviously you'll still go to your doctor, do your annual blood work. But as a bodybuilder, since you're going back and forth between shredded and not shredded and just putting your body through a lot, you should be getting your blood work done more often.
It's not a bad idea at all. There's people that like forget to, or they just opt not to.
Or they say it's expensive. So whether you're natural or not natural, you should be getting blood work done. Because even as a natural, especially during the end of your bodybuilding prep, your thyroid is going to be beaten to death, basically. You're going to have thyroid suppression, all kinds of issues going on. So just being diligent with that blood work. Please do it.
That's a very important part.
Yes. So speaking of which, with blood work being expensive, bodybuilding is super, super expensive, which brings us to number 3. Bodybuilding is super, super expensive. You need to be financially ready before even jumping into bodybuilding prep, especially for females.
Yeah, males, we don't really have to worry so much about having different bikinis and different colors and all that.
Yes.
If you're an open bodybuilder, it's just a different color trunk.
But you still have to think of the costs of registration for the show, the food, the supplements, the tanning for females. Then we got the hair, sometimes the hair extensions, obviously, makeup, bikinis, shoes, so on and so forth. So it stacks up really fast. And if you have a bodybuilding coach, that adds to it as well. So
this is like smaller stuff that people don't really ever mention. If you're wanting to have posing practice and you want to hire someone, that gets expensive.
So there's that.
If you want to speak to one of the judges and ask what you're going to need to work on, sometimes you might have to pay to see them.
Really?
Some people.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay, well, also transportation, hotel, getting your items to the hotel, because like sometimes you can't just bring all that stuff on the airplane, or if you're going to drive, then you got to think about the gas, and it adds up. So just make sure that you got enough money saved up to even do one show at that point.
Yeah.
We're going to guesstimate how much just doing one show is at some point. I kind of want to see
on
this.
On top of that, like if you don't have the time to cook all your healthy prep meals, well, buying food or buying meal prep foods is, that adds up too. And speaking of spending a lot of money on food, that brings us to number 4, which is you might develop food sensitivities during prep.
I did. What was that? Like in 2017? 2017 is when I went pro in a different federation. After that show, I could not handle eggs, couldn't handle milk, not even cheese. Like legit, like I looked like I was pregnant and I was definitely not. Okay. So
it was happening over months and months.
Yeah.
After a few months later, like we started noticing that gluten starts throwing her off.
Yep. Fun times. So that's, if you look at one of our previous videos, we talk a little bit about gut health, and we're really going to be emphasizing that throughout prep because we don't want y'all to have to go through that. There's still the risk of developing food sensitivities, but you can lessen it, right? So we'll keep talking about that in later videos.
Like another example a lot of people have is they get SIBO before they start prep. If they don't try to take care of that before they begin prepping, it just gets exacerbated the whole prep.
And a lot of times you end up not being able to lose weight, cutting down, leaning out enough for the show. And I've seen competitors still try to compete and they just look inflamed and puffy and then...
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I have a harder time breathing from working out if I have SIBO.
Mm-hmm.
And SIBO, if you guys don't know what it is a short intestinal...
No.
I can't
No,
remember
it's
now.
small.
Small intestinal...
Bacterial overgrowth.
Yep, you got it.
All right, and number 5 that you really should know, there's gonna be kind of like a body image thing that just almost continuously happens throughout prep. And there will be times where you just appear skinny fat, right? So that goes into play with the whole, when your carbs are getting cut, your calories and all that, your muscles might not be filling out like they should be, but you might still be losing fat. As you're losing fat, temporarily that skin's gonna be kind of stretchy and it's just gonna appear almost skinny fat to you, like for you. Chances are you're probably actually just losing the fat, but you're just not filled up with glycogen.
And plus, if you're gonna be watching other bodybuilding contests while you're in prep, you're gonna feel like you don't look nearly as good enough as you need to. And number 6 is
Family.
Family. Family.
Family.
We're family.
Family.
Family. Family.
Family.
Family.
Family.
Family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
and friends won't be able to understand what you're doing. You're not gonna have as much time to spend with them, be able to do fun stuff with them that you're used to doing, going out to eat with them. If you're lucky enough to go eat with family and friends, you're gonna be the boring one that gets the healthy food while everyone else gets good, edible food.
Yeah, and so like our moms, when they see that we're in prep, now that they understand prep, they know not to just be like, hey, have this cupcake. I made it gluten-free for you, just for you. And it's like, I can't have that.
Okay, I'll eat it once, but after this, no more. Just
But I mean, you could still kind of go out and eat with friends and family, but just make sure that you set those boundaries of, hey, like I'm in prep. I can't just have a bite of this or that. I got to get my cardio in. I got to get this weight training in. And a lot of times if you just explain and even show them, like we showed our moms in the past, they tend to understand after a while and have them come to a competition with you.
plus, you have to keep reminding everybody too.
Yeah.
It's not easy for everyone to remember that you have to do this, and it takes priority over everything. If they want to go to the movies or clubbing or partying, something like that, you're used to going, you're not going to be able to go this time.
Maybe not always, at the end of the day, as long as you're just explaining and just kind of showing them like why you're doing this and how it kind of works, they tend to be understanding. And if they don't, well, I mean, kick them out. I don't know. And number 7, your libido is probably going to be non-existent by the end of prep, or you're barely going to have it.
Yeah, guys, you might not be able to harden up. I can't think of anything else to put you in a sense.
Okay, ladies, you're probably gonna be so tired that you're just like, no, I don't want to do anything. Fine, and you just lay there because you're so tired, you're depleted, and even for males, they might not be able to get it up, or they're too damn tired too, and y'all are just gonna lay in bed and just complain and cry about why do we do this to ourselves?
So I
you
guess
still do it.
some people, it's not really any different than normal.
What did he say?
I'm just playing.
Do you want to sleep on the couch?
No, I wasn't saying. And number 8, peak week tends to be the least difficult part of prep.
It's the easiest part of prep typically because at that point, your coach is most likely throttling back on your cardio, probably slowly upping your food, carbs, telling you to just raise your legs, prop them up, just relax. At that point, your coach is telling you, sleep, nap, just chillax. You've done the work. You can't lose any more fat at this point. At this point, you just want to keep your cortisol levels chill.
You know, a lot of people don't train legs in the last week of prep. I mean, I assume that's just for like swelling looking or something like that.
Yeah, so some people in peak week, they might not train legs because they inflame easily. And at that point, like any little thing where you're like moving heavy weight, especially for legs, water will hold there in your joints and stuff. I think the only thing I actually trained on my last peak week was shoulders and glutes. So,
and for some people, last day or two, they carb up, which is pretty nice. Some people it's a little bit longer, but classic physique, since there is a weight cap, a lot of times you don't get to, but you might be able to carb up a little bit though.
Which in one of our future videos, we'll talk about classic physique and the weight caps and all that, because that gets pretty challenging. Nate knows.
Yep, I missed it.
And that's 8 things you should know before jumping into your bodybuilding prep.
If you have any more questions or, you know, stuff that you wanted to know that we didn't go over, just mention it in the comments and we'll either go over it in the next video or we'll try to respond in the comments.
Good talk.